I listen, and I listen very carefully. Somebody saying, I was invited to go and to have the janazah funeral for this person, and I noticed this person, mashallah, to cut a long story short, this person is a blessed one. He asked the relative of this person, this one, did he do anything special? What is the things that he's doing anything special? And he says, oh, this one, he's reciting this much, he's waking up at tahajjud this much. He says, anything else? What are the kind of things that he does special? He recites this salawat, he recited this, or anything else? He did this and he did this. He says, oh, mashallah, that's very good. So, to be blessed, for things to open up to you, all you got to do is recite certain things, isn't it? Wake up at a certain hour, go up and down. That's it. Nothing to do with your spirit. Nothing to do with the ego. Nothing to do whether you are a good person or you're not a good person. Nothing to do about your anger and your jealousy and your stubbornness and your pride. Nothing to do with any of that. All you have to do is to do certain amals. Just like a mantra. I'm not saying don't do. Of course it is important. Of course we do. But the ones who is reading Quran 24 hours, and that is his amal, reading Quran or making zikr 24 hours, but he's not watching his ego, and he still cannot get rid of arrogance from him, from his heart, paradise, it is forbidden to him. I'm not the one who's saying this. Prophet is the one who's saying this. You have a problem? Go to him. Don't go to me. Isn't this a hadith? So the whole point is not to just do things like a robot. It is like the man who is collecting gold and keeping it in his house and putting so much security in the front, but his back door is completely open, and the thief and the robbers, they come in every time to take. He's earning more and they keep stealing and stealing. This is what it is. So now, you ask a question. One saint said, Hazrat Faruddin Attar, another Faruddin, was saying, when your Shaykh is alive, you should obey him strongly. But when your Shaykh is veiled, your obedience is even more, should be. Correct? You should obey him even more when he's passed. Because when your Shaykh is there physically, it is very easy to obey. And we see so many people when the Shaykh is there or the Grand Shaykh is there, they obey very good. They're not showing any of their true colors. They're never doing things. But once they are gone, suddenly we see new things coming up. It is very easy to obey a Shaykh when he's there with you physically. Of course it is. But when he's not there, that is when it requires your spiritual power. And that spiritual power you can only get when you're stepping on your ego. Meaning, if you're not stepping in your ego, when you're in the presence of your Shaykh, then your connection to him is only through the physical, not through the spiritual. Then that time, even when he's alive, you are there physically in front of him. He is good, but not physically in front of him. Your connection is broken. And you do so many things that are wrong, or you don't know why you're living. You don't know where your faith is. But those ones that you are training, in reality, is the Shaykh that's training us. We don't train ourselves. In front of him, he's not even speaking. In front of him, he's not even doing anything, showing anything physically, but his heart is always sending. And if we are stepping, even that is stepping on the ego, because so many murids may say, oh, why the Shaykh is giving attention so much to this murid and not to this one? Why the Shaykh is spending time with this and not even talking to me? You think the Shaykh is not knowing? You think the Shaykh is not knowing how to give, when to give, for whom to give it? So those ones who are training or being trained, their egos, in the presence of the Shaykh, when the Sheikh is veiled, not only is that one holding on tighter to the Sheikh, now he's given work to do. He's not just holding on for safety, now he has work to do. Now the Sheikh says, you know how to drive? Then pick up these people. Don't just be busy learning how to drive for your own selfishness from here to there. Now, you're going to love whom I love, you're going to leave those that I leave. Exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Musa alayhi salam. Musa alayhi salam went to his Lord and he spoke to his Lord, Kalimullah alayhi salatu wa salam. And Allah saying, Ya Musa, what have you done for me? And Musa alayhi salam saying, I pray, Ya Rabbi. He says, no. Your salah, your worship, it is for you, it is not for me. I fast, Ya Rabbi. Just like so many Muslims saying, being so proud, I pray for Allah. What is Allah gaining from your prayer? It is without any need, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whether you pray or you don't pray, Allah is high. Your fasting, it is for you. It is for your own safety. I give sadaqah, Ya Rabbi. Zakat, it is for you. It is not for me. I go to the Hajj to visit you in your house because every prophet went to the Kaaba. Around the Kaaba, they're buried, what, 7,000 prophets. There are these Wahhabi shaitans, they are digging. Allahu Alam what they found. Big bala coming to them, don't worry. They're going to burn very badly. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, all that you are doing, it is for you. It is not for me. Then Musa alayhi salam says, Ya Rabbi, I don't know what I can do for you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, love those ones that I love and leave those that I leave. And with that comes everything, all the meaning, what it means to love and what it means to leave. Now our Shaykh, physically he has left us. We are asking, what can we do for you? You think his answer, the one who is a friend of Allah, is going to be different from his friend's answer? Love those whom I love and leave those whom I leave. Now, that obedience becomes even more important because we are still living in this world of the five senses, and it is testing that one. If it's just, his connection is just the five senses, that's why some people, they go crazy. They say, Shaykh is not here, I miss him so much, and they leave the Jamaat or they leave the Tariqat. Some, they leave. Say, oh, I cannot help it. Then your connection to him was not strong to begin with. Because the work now is more important. It is not how much you feel for him. Now the work now is more important. I don't want to speak too much today. Today being the Mawlid of SahibulSaif, Shaykh Abdul Karim Kabrisiya Rabbani. That, what, 55, 57 years ago? 58 years ago? In a small island of Cyprus, in a small village where he was born, one of the greatest friends of Allah of these times and of any time. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen him, coming from the holy blood lineage of the Holy Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam, and from the holy blood lineage of the highest saints, and the holy blood lineage of the sultans and the khalifas of the Ottoman Empire. He was born in very humble surroundings. Humble to the eyes of the dunya, very great to the eyes of those who have faith. At that time, even the Christians, they had faith, the Greeks. They may not believe in the same things, but they understand if there is a holiness coming to a person and they say this one is holy, we have to give respect. And safety will come to those people because they're showing respect to the ones whom Allah loves. They saw a great big light coming. To who? Ali Fodes. To who is that? The grandfather of Shaykh Effendi, correct? They saw, there's a big story, it's a long story, I'm going to tell you some other time. The Greeks, they witnessed the light, the holy light that is coming. And they call his grandfather Ali Fodes. Nur Ali, Ali Nur. And from that lineage, our Shaykh came. One of the secrets of Allah, one of the secrets of the last days, and one of the secrets of Hazrati Hussein that was being planted from a long time ago, just like a small speck of sand that enters into the shell of an oyster and over time slowly becomes a pearl, just like that. And at a young age, where most people, they don't even know, most men, boys, they don't even know anything. He was already a mujahid, fighting for the sake of Islam and Haqq. Fighting, protecting Islam, protecting his people, protecting his way of life from the confusion that was happening at that time. And at a young age, 17, 18 years old, he was already a Ghazi. Today is what? Veterans Day? Yesterday, Veterans Day. Yesterday, in reality, was his birthday. He was a veteran. What were we doing when we were 16, 17, 18 years old? He was already waking up his sleeping legend. He wasn't waking up, he was already a legend. Then a couple of years later, his Lord sent him across the ocean to come to a land that is going to play a very big part in the Akhir Zaman that has been predicted by the great awliyas hundreds, thousands years ago. And he was sent as a representative of the Sultan al-Awliya. He was a teenager, say 18, 19 years old. Where were we when we were 19 years old? He did not come to America to seek a better life, to get better house, better car, better things. He was sent here, just as his grandfather was Ali Fodes, Ali Nur, to spread the light of Hazrati Ali here, to spread the light of Hazrati Muhammad ﷺ to this country, to prepare this country for the events that's going to come soon. He came with nothing. He came with no relatives, no friends, no money, nothing. And he went through life. We're talking about America, not America now, not America in the 90s. We're talking about 30, 40 years ago. And Allah made him to experience so much in this country, to go through what so many people are going through, to taste what they are tasting. He is a man who went through the life. One man, maybe he has a life of 50, 100, 1,000 people in him. Why I'm saying this? Because only with a person who has that kind of experience of 1,000 men can reach 1,000 men. In the way of Haqq, in the way of Batil, you can reach 1 billion men. But you don't know anything about them, and you don't want to know anything about them. First, he was a shepherd. First, he was a shepherd in Cyprus. As all the prophets, before they became a prophet, they were shepherds. He was a saint of Allah. He was a friend of Allah. Coming from a family of Ahlul Bayt and a family of the friends of Allah, being born into the hands of the Sultan al-Awliya. being trained by him. And he came with that tradition, and he became person from the highest level when he was working in the United Nations as an attaché for years, and understanding how now the world is moving from that level. After a few years, he left everything and he came down to the lowest level. He drove a truck, he drove a taxi to understand and observe again mankind. Which alim is doing that? Which scholar is doing that? That's why scholars are not awliyas. And awliyas are not scholars. Every alim that wants to be an awliya, first test they have to do, throw away all your books. How can you be a scholar if you throw away all your books? Correct or not? He became a businessman. He became so many things. He became everyone. That with that knowledge you can enter into every heart. With that knowledge you can enter into the heart of the person from the streets. And you can speak to them about Allah. And with that knowledge and with that experience, you can speak to people of the highest level. And he used to feed people a lot. He used to make zikr. He used to give sohbat. He did not collect people. He was letting them come and go until the order came to him to establish a dergah. And we are in it, this dergah. That is when he's saying, like Musa alayhi salam, on top of the mountain, building the ship, and Allah saying, now call everyone to come. And that's what he did. I mean, he called everyone to even call the animals, strange animals that has never been around in these parts. He is here suddenly, they're all coming. Because they are sensing, they're understanding. If your eyes are open from the heart, you're going to understand what lights are here, what energy is pulling here. Even those evilish ones, with all the technology, they understand what kind of energy is pulling from the paradises here, and it's sending from here to the paradises. Only people are sleeping, murids are sleeping. And he did all this, he established all this. Not only for us to come together and to live a clean Islamic lifestyle, it is to come together to prepare for the coming of Mahdi alayhi salam. This is a place where we prepare for him. When you're going through difficulty, that is the time when you need to have more discipline, isn't it? For example, when you have a lot of money, you say, I'm going to spend here, I'm going to spend here, I'm going to spend here. When you don't have a lot of money, you say, oh, now I have to be more disciplined, correct? I cannot spend here, I cannot spend here, I cannot spend here. So when it's difficult, that's when you have more discipline. It's when things are easy that you become more easy. Isn't that logic? Isn't that easy to understand? Now, the things here in this world is becoming the most difficult ever that the world has seen before, and is requiring the believer, those who are preparing, to be even more and more and more disciplined. And to put it, some may call us extreme militaristic. They're, of course, if they are used to saying things, I mean, they used to say our Shaykh is Abu Jahil. They used to say our Shaykh is Abu Jahal. So we're not surprised because they're used to it. And if they are starting to mean extreme militaristic saying with all the connotations of, say, terrorism, then we say, mashallah to you. What vision you have. Things are very difficult, and we're putting all this discipline that we learned from our Shaykh, from Sultan al-Awliya, from the Prophet ﷺ, so that we will not be tricked and trapped in the time of Dajjal that we are living in right now. Didn't he ﷺ say, if you love me, prepare yourself for hardship? We're happy with this, alhamdulillah. Dogs may bark, they've been barking, but the caravan of SahibulSaif will continue. And so easy then that time to hook on to the caravan of Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam. He's coming with more discipline, don't worry, he's coming with more discipline. Yes, he's coming to revive all the lost traditions of the Holy Prophet alayhi salam. Who's not going to have discipline? Dajjal. Dajjal says, you are free. Love, he's going to say. Coming with a rose. We are happy with the sword, because the sword is representing what? The protection of Allah, the shadow of Allah on earth. And with that shadow comes mercy. The Furqan, the divider. So we are no one, we are nothing. We are just being busy with ourselves, holding on to our Shaykh, celebrating his Mawlud, and asking Allah to keep us strong in His way. Doesn't matter if there's one person or 100,000 persons with me. We've always been very busy just doing our thing. If you want to come, come. You don't want to come, go. You are free. But I'm seeing more we're becoming strict. More people are coming. More we're getting more strict, more people are coming. What can I do? People do as they want. People do as they like. They don't listen to me. So, shukr, alhamdulillah, rabbil alameen. May Allah raise his station. May Allah make him to be pleased with us. May we do our work properly so that he is pleased with us. May he forgive us for our shortcomings. May he give us more intelligence and more faith and more energy and more wakefulness to do our work properly. May better ones come. May all the evil ones stay away. May more protection come. For the sake of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, for the sake of Sultan al-Awliya and SahibulSaif, Al-Fatiha. Amin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.